The Algerian state continues to persist in its hostility to everything that is Moroccan, and in waging a blind war against the interests of the kingdom, as the eastern neighbor did not even respect the spiritual and religious aspects, and plunged them into his foolishness, despite their sanctity. In the leaking of a document, in the form of a recommendation sent by Isabel Kidha, the advisor to the Algerian president in charge of religious associations and corners, to Sidi Ali Bellarabi, the general caliph of the Tijaniya order, incitement is clearly against the spiritual extension of the Kingdom of Morocco in Africa. The leaked document acknowledges the kingdom's religious and spiritual strength, and the extension of its official religious orientation throughout Africa. The leak stated that the President of the Republic, Tebboune, is very interested in religious diplomacy and its importance for Algeria to establish a solid base for the religious and spiritual dimension in the country's foreign policy, as a result of the weight of this symbolism in building political and strategic alliances with a group of countries that draw their spiritual references to a large extent from religious and Sufi centers. Before returning to the recommendation, it states that the goal is also to stop the Moroccan advance that has crossed all limits in the matter of religious diplomacy, as Morocco invested in the spiritual relations that bind it to the African peoples for political and economic penetration within these peoples, in a clear recognition of the power of the spiritual kingdom. Rabat has also recently sought to extinguish the official nature of this cooperation by organizing religious programs for religious leaders from the Sahel and West Africa, within the framework of spreading moderate Islam in the African continent, and this is what strengthens Morocco's regional and international position, in the efforts aimed at combating terrorism in the Sahel and Sahara region, and perhaps eventually in all of Africa and beyond, says the leaked Algerian report. And the document recommendation added that the Tijaniya method has many followers at the African level, and it receives great attention from African official institutions that have a relationship with the methodology and its thought that is distinguished by asceticism, and that people do not dispute their affairs, and for this we ask you the General Caliph of the Tijaniya method in Algeria to hold conferences in many from African capitals. The recommendation emphasized that the Algerian state would assume full funding for the aforementioned conferences, in order to enable the Algerian state to increase its religious influence on African local communities, and to stop Moroccan control over the African religious field through the Mohammed VI Foundation for African Ilma, according to what was stated in the text of the recommendation. In conclusion, the report told the chief official of the Tijaniya order that the President of the Republic allocated urgent financial support to his foundation estimated at €200,000, with the aim of distributing it to religious figures affiliated with the Tijaniya order. The Algerian president also allocated a private plane to Sidi Ali Bellarabi to transport him and his followers to different African countries, according to the recommendation.